So the roaster is preheating. It's at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. At about 166, it'll be out of preheat mode and into roasting. I've got it on the auto program. This is the first time I've ever done a roast with this roaster. The only other roaster I've used is a Fresh Roast Plus 8, which is the fluid bed, small fluid bed roaster. So we'll just see how this goes. So it's going to be at 167 Fahrenheit. It's going to start. I'm going to pour the beans in. Got 260 grams of Costa Rican beans. And it's on auto, counting down from about 17 minutes. Looks like the beans are getting agitated pretty well. They're quite visible as well in the window, which is nice. So I'm just going to leave it on auto. The display is showing that the temperature is up at about 90%, the heating element, and the fan is not on. I haven't turned the overhead fan on. It's sitting on the oven right now underneath an overhead fan. I haven't turned that on, so you can just hear it in action. If it starts to get too smoky, then I'll turn that fan on. I'm hoping that it's not going to smoke the house out. We'll see how that goes. I get very minimal smoke out of the Fresh Roast Plus 8, but that's about a third of the capacity of this roaster. So we shall see. It's at 201 degrees, 16 minutes and 10 seconds. Now they've implemented some safety features which you probably read in the manual. So at 356 Fahrenheit, within the first 8, anyway, it doesn't matter. It might beep along the way, and the beeping is basically a warning telling you that the temperature is going up, and if you don't press the key within 30 seconds of the beeping, then it will eject the beans. And I think they've done this because some people have had some problems with basically fires, so it's a good safety feature. The fans come on 3/4. I didn't even notice it, but it's pretty quiet. It just turned off. So this is the auto program. I should be quiet so you can hear the fan go on and off. I'll let you know when it does. Maybe, hopefully the audio will register it. 231 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 minutes remaining. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod here and do some walk around. 273 Fahrenheit. Let's take a look inside the drum. See if this will work. Agitation looks really good in there. .290 Fahrenheit. 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. I just opened the door just in case I need to vent the smoke, because I don't know how much smoke this machine is going to make. Beans are still pretty green. 312 Fahrenheit. Power's still up 95%. No fan. Yeah, it's radiating a little bit of heat. .330. I can see the beans are starting to turn a little yellow. Now the beans are kind of that golden color. It's 341 Fahrenheit, 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. One of the reviews online was showing that the temperature indicated in the display is actually slightly lower, I think it was, no, higher than the actual bean mass temperature. I don't know if I'm going to put a thermocouple into this or not. I think I'll just use it for now. I mean, I just got the thing. So any modifications, will be down the road, but at least, there's some close correlation between the bean mass temperature and the temperature in the display. The beans are now starting to turn that kind of cinnamon color. Very light though, 356 Fahrenheit, 8 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. I'm really interested to hear how audible the cracking is, especially if I have to turn the fan on, the overhead fan. I am concerned about the amount of smoke because I have a centrally monitored smoke alarm. So if the alarm goes off, it actually signals the alarm service. So if that happens, I'll have to run away. You'll hear the alarm go off. And okay, the fans come on low. Just going to feel the amount of air. Well, there's a fair amount of air coming out, so pretty powerful fan. I know with drum roasters, one of the things you want to do is prevent smoke from building up inside the drum so that it doesn't coat and flavor the beans. I'm starting to hear some cracking, I think. It's 370 degrees. The front of the glass is getting a little bit hazy. And the first crack is just starting. The beans are a very light brown, cinnamony brown. 380 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Sounding like NASA Central Command there. Here's the first crack. I'm not really seeing any smoke. 394 Fahrenheit, 5 minutes, 15 seconds. Okay, the fan speed just jumped up. We're at 400 Fahrenheit, 4 minutes, 50 seconds. A little bit of chaff has fallen out here into the cooling tray. Definitely a smell in the air, but I'm not really seeing any smoke. But I am thinking that maybe the fan is blowing the smoke out the back. I'm going to open the door. Okay, there's the first warning beep. So I have to touch the keys here. Yeah, I see smoke being blown out the the back of the fan now. It's yeah, it's pretty smoky. We're at 413 degrees, 309 minutes remaining. Now the second crack has started. I'm going to turn the overhead fan on as well. Yeah, you can still hear the crack pretty good. There's a little bit of smoke escaping here in the front. Most of it gets blown out the back. I can see it being blown out the back here. You can see that, and there's the eject. Lots of smoke being generated in the room. I'm concerned about the fire alarm, but we'll see. So I'll say that it's, you know, it's smoky in the kitchen. I've got the door open and the window open and the overhead fan on full. I'd say it's the kind of amount of smoke you'd get if you maybe burnt some toast. You know, thin layer of smoke. Fan's still on, full. Three minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, I can feel the heat being blown off the beans from the fan, the cooling fan underneath. It's a really effective way. Also, I noticed, you probably heard, it was in the second crack when it ejected the beans, and very quickly the beans stopped cracking. So that's pretty efficient cooling, and that's actually one of the main reasons why I bought the Hottop over the other roasters, like the Jean Cafe, was because of the fast cooling. Because I notice when I'm roasting that cooling is so critical, because the roast will carry on, and it's so hard to get to nail the roast level if the roast is still going to continue to roast based, you know, from the residual heat and the exothermic reaction of the roasting. So this really cooled it down, and the second crack stopped very quickly. Also, I'm looking at the roast, and it looks gorgeous, like really consistent. I mean, there's only a few lighter beans in there, but that's really consistent. It looks gorgeous. I'm very happy about this. So I'm going to shut the door now. I think smoke's dissipated. You can see the beans a little better. You know, since I'll tilt it down and maybe move a little closer here if I can. Probably don't need the fan on anymore. So you can see it's pretty consistent. I mean, there's a little inconsistency in there. To my eyes, the inconsistency is a little exacerbated by the camera. It doesn't look as inconsistent with my eyes as it does in the viewfinder, so it's probably something to do with the well, the beans are pretty cool, and you know, I think they've been in there for 2 minutes. Very efficient cooling. Yeah, there must be something about the CCD in the camera and its color sensitivity. But it does help to kind of show the consistency, even if it's not as visually exacerbated as in the video. They're cool. I mean, wow, that's amazing. They're cool. They're like, there's no heat whatsoever. If there's any heat, it's coming kind of off the pan or the beans on the side, but these are quite cool. And that's a lot of beans. I mean, from what I'm used to roasting in the fresh roast, you get about 60 grams out of that. I put 260 grams of beans in this hot top. So we got 17 seconds left. I guess it's just warning me that the time's going to end in 5 seconds. And there it is. So the display is asking me if I want to store that profile, that roast, in a memory, which I don't, because I didn't modify it. And let's see, oh, this just lifts off. Very nice. So let's just take a look here. So there you go. There it is. The blade stays on, and that's the roast. Very happy and excited by this. So hope that was useful to you.